Okay, ठीक. No problem.
Please begin.
Okay. Good afternoon, one and all. The Faculty of Homeopathy, Parul University, welcome you all to the series of webinar. Myself, Dr. Purav Desai, Dean, Faculty of Homeopathy, and together with us, we have the dynamic principal team, Dr. Reena Rawal Madam, the principal of Ahmedabad Homeopathic Medical College, the BP Panda sir, principal of Parul Institute of Homeopathy and Research, and Dr. Hitat Mehta sir, the principal of Rajkot Homeopathic Medical College. Since 2.5 years, that means almost from the day of COVID, from where the lockdown has been announced, we have initiated the this gesture of organizing various webinars, and since then almost 70 plus webinars has been conducted by our faculty. In the calendar 2022 again, we have restricted the continuity of the webinar, and we have restricted to 1 or 2 webinars in a month. So this is the 7th webinar of our faculty, and every time we call the good orators and good scientific people who have worked for the homeopathy to share their experience to the society, and let the student and the doctors of homeopathy gain the knowledge by their expertise. Today we have Dr. Yashika Arora, and I request Dr. Hina Madam to give the introduction of today's speaker, Dr. Yashika Madam. Madam, please.
Thank you, Purav sir. Dr. Yashika Arora Malhotra. She is the alumni of NHMC, Nehru Homeopathic Medical College, Delhi. She has done her MD Homeopathy in Materia Medica from Maharashtra University of Health Sciences. She is the achiever of STSH 2015-16, the scholarship under the program organized by CCRH Delhi, titled Efficacy of Homeopathic Medicines in the Treatment of Alopecia, for a period of 6 months. She has received Appreciation Award by Board of Homeopathic System of Medicine, Delhi in 2018. She won the Homeopathic Icon Award by Delhi Homeopathic Federation in 2019, and also got Chikitsa Seva Ratna Award by Bharatiya Homeopathic Panel. She is the proud recipient of Young Homeopathic Oration Award by South Delhi Homeopathic Association in Kent's Memorial Lectures in 2019. She won 3rd prize in CCRH Film Video Making Competition in 2020. Dr. Yashika is contributing author of Textbook of Obstetrics and Neonatology with the Homeopathic Therapeutics by Dr. Trupti Bhamre, as well as editor of the Homeopathic Heritage, a peer-reviewed journal, and of Homeopathy 360. She is the editor of a recently launched book, Healing Women with Homeopathy by Dr. Kavita Chandar. It is my privilege and pleasure today to welcome Dr. Yashika. Please, Dr. Yashika, you can continue.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a nice introduction. I am very overwhelmed by the introduction you have given about me, and it feels so great to be with you all on this platform of Parul University. I'm really thankful to the whole team of Parul University, especially Dr. Hitat sir, Dr. Purav sir, Dr. Hina ma'am, Dr. Panda sir, and Dr. Neerav specially, for organizing this great webinar and giving me this platform and opportunity to present my views and share my knowledge with the students of Parul University, as well as considering me for considering me for this webinar. And today's topic for the presentation, we have we will be focusing on how to write a research article. So we'll be discussing the technique to write a research article. So can I request one thing? Can I share the screen? It would be feasible for me, or you want to share?
You do share from your side, madam. Okay.
Yes, I'll be comfortable. Yeah, I've shared. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible. Yes, visible.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. So without wasting any time, I would like to begin the session of today, that is technique to write the research articles. And Dr. Yashika Arora Malhotra has already explained, ma'am, so we won't be wasting time. I'm really thankful to the Parel University, the Faculty of Homeopathy, for granting me permission to share my knowledge on this platform. And we have a very difficult task today. We have a very tedious task, I would say, of this which is our topic again, because everybody is always confused and everybody is always seeking this topic, ki how we can get knowledge or how we can write a research article. I get so many queries being the editor of Homeopathic Heritage, that what we need to mention, what we have to write in a research publication, research paper, or a subjective article or a case study. So we have so many queries which come to us on a regular basis from various authors all over the country and outside. So this topic was chosen by me because it is actually the need of the hour, and we get so many we have so many queries. So I just put up the link to people that you can just check the guidelines at ICMGA, or you can check the guidelines at Equator Network, or you can check the guidelines on our website, and then go through and just write the article. Still people cannot grasp actually what actually is a research article. And there come many queries, many difficulties which people face. So today we are going to discuss the topic of this research article, that how you can actually write a research article, which is actually compulsory when you are doing when you are an undergraduate or a postgraduate or a PhD student, or even if you have passed out as a researcher, as a doctor, as a physician, because to make homeopathy, to make our science, which is being granted to us by Dr. Master Samuel Hahnemann sir, so we need to promote it to the world through our evidence-based researches, which can obviously come to people, which can obviously reach to people through our standard research papers. And we should be capable enough to write research papers, research articles as per the international standards, which may be acceptable by PubMed, which may be acceptable by ResearchGate, which may be acceptable by Google Scholar, and all the main websites which actually are being gone through by people, and they research and search, and so on, so that this science will be becoming evidence based through our research papers, through our standardized research papers. Then only homeopathy can reach to the better height, and people will believe it more. So this is actually a very tedious task when you are crafting this is like when you start thinking about a scientific article or a research paper, and you have to write it and then get it published. So while drafting this scientific article or research paper, where it is a very time consuming and a challenging task, but yes, at the very same time, it is a rewarding and satisfying endeavor. The importance of research article publication, I already explained that yes, homeopathy is one of the source that you have to take homeopathy to a next level, which is actually an evidence-based research paper by so many homeopaths all over the world. And this will give the career growth to the individual, as well as the professional body will recognize him, and that will be the ultimate benefit of the community. So before learning anything today, we need to know what is the actual importance of this research paper. Any research you are doing it through your PG, you are doing it through your internship, you are doing it through PhD course, or beyond any time, out of any diplomas. So you should publish it in a relevant medical journal, because it has various reasons, which is actually at the professional level, which is actually at the personal level. If you discuss, we'll be discussing at professional level, personal level, what are the benefits. How to draft a paper is the topic of today. That is how you can present a highest possible standard as per the international level. It is not an impossible task nowadays because we have so many magazines, we have so many journals, we have so many peer-reviewed, authorized journals with ISS and numbers that are publishing, that are giving you opportunities. Before we didn't have so many, but we have today so many publication houses which are with journals which are promoting your research papers through their portals. So it is well said, any research which is not finished at all until it is published. Absolute volume of published papers is actually an indicator or your research activity, or indirectly the research capacity of a country or of our fraternity. So it is actually the research capacity of our fraternity, how many research papers we're getting published. While writing for a peer reviewed journal, they always look for quality articles which are actually high standard research studies and very easily comprehensible by the readers. So which is our target audience. So actually you should focus to write a high standard research study. You take a quality article, you take a topic of a title of something which is of good quality, and which you can through which you can directly reach to the readers. You should always keep yourself away while choosing the research publication, or while choosing to write. You should always be fearless. You should not have any thoughts like poor drafting habits. You should not have any anxiety for documentation. You should not have any apprehension in inside your heart that you will be failing, or you need experience. You should be experienced enough to write a research paper. You should do not lose your confidence. Do not ignore the requirements that are required for high quality writing. And you should always be welcoming the critics. You should always welcome the criticism, the resistance to your article, to the feedback, whatever you are getting. You should always be acceptable, because that is how you are going to learn. That is how you're going to achieve something better and learn from something better. Because every other person, even I get to learn every day something new. I'll just share an example with you all. So I recently, though I never like I wanted to give an interview for CCRH actually. So I just recently went for an interview at CCRH. So there I got to learn actually many things, because when you go being known to people, or when you when somebody knows you at your at the interview desk, so that time they actually the things are tested. So that time I was I was a bit nervous, because it was my very first time, and when people know you, so you you lose some confidence at that end. So that time I got to know that yes, I do not know many things. I got to learn about many of the points which is to be taken care while you are reviewing a paper, in fact, or what you have to what are the other guidelines. Like I got to know about equatornetwork.org through that interview, because we being the editors, we always keep on searching or follow the guidelines, but at every point we get to learn. So always be ready to get the resistance, to get the criticism from the society, from the fraternity. You should always remember that regardless of regard readers not as being ignorant, but more likely innocent of your topic and its jargon. Write for them, not at them. So you should note that you should write for them and not at them. You should publish an article to present a document which is containing actually valuable information, and so that they can easily assess the observations, the findings you are claiming, and you can replicate the experiment. Like if somebody wants to replicate your experiment, you should verify. They can verify whenever they want whatever conclusions you have drawn from the study. You should have that they have should be supported by the relevant data, so that anybody or anyone can claim it, anyone can experiment it again and verify. So publishing article give you a very sense of satisfaction. You got a very wider audience, career growth, career achievements, and publications at the professional level. It's very important for the universities, for the colleges, to for their growth and development. When the knowledge, when the papers are being shared, publications are being shared at a journal level, or they are being published. So every level has their own benefit when you talk about publications. And they also help out in shaping many health policies and improves the knowledge of clinicians like each one of us. When you are writing, when you are starting with the typical manuscript or a research paper, you should always remember the basic structure of IMRAD. Though it's not an I would not say that it is an international standard, but being the basic structure, you should remember all this. This is a structure which is followed by many of the journals for their papers or for their abstracts. So you should remember these four things, that is the introduction, the methods, the results, and discussion. So you should remember IMRAD, 4 points, that is introduction, methods, results, and discussion. So it is the reflection of scientific discovery process. Whenever you are trying to write a research paper, you should have an introduction, you should have a methodology, what you are going to do. You should be having an hypothesis that you will be creating in the methodology, that this result you may get, and then you need to discuss and conclude the session. So it has more subheadings which we'll be discussing in the upcoming presentation. So structure of an article includes title, authorship, abstract, keywords, introduction, materials and methods, results, discussion, conclusion, acknowledgements, and references. Though everybody of you have heard it, have read it, or many of you are very good authors as well. So you must be knowing about all these top titles and all these subheadings. But at the same time, today we are going to learn about each of the importance of this type of this heading, as well as how you can mention or how you can write easily or about each of this keyword. So first we come to the title, how you need to write the title, what is actually it is about. So the title of your article should explain what is broadly about what you're talking about. It is actually like a signboard, you can say, that which will be directing your readers, the people who will be reading the article, that what is the topic all about, the study design and results. The topic should explain actually your study design and results. It is actually the text in miniature. You can see my third point, the text in miniature, and you should keep it very short. Not a very big title is required. Many of the journals, in fact, ask for only 3 to 4 words in their article, but you can have, like, normally you can have 6 to 7 words maximum, because it should reach in a short, crisp manner to the reader. Whenever you are providing a title, it should be distilled description of a complete article, and reveal the abstract and the sensitivity of your article. It should be it may be written in a descriptive form or a declarative form, that you can explain it like that you are explaining the utility of homeopathic medicine, belladonna in tonsillitis. You can exactly mention it as a descriptive form, or you can mention it as a declarative form, like belladonna in a case of tonsillitis. So you can declare as well, or in fact in the interrogative form, in a question mark form, like, is belladonna effective in tonsillitis? So you can choose the article anyhow in a fewest possible word, 6 to 7 words you can try, and it should contain the important keywords. Try to include your keyword of the article in the title if possible, because it will directly reach to the reader and it will reflect the content of the article. It should be specific and it should be brief, very concise, very precise, very interesting, so that people get attracted to read about your article, and it is focused and informative and very meaningful. The number of words limit in the article should be limited to 10 to 12 maximum, or it should be in maximum 2 rows and very less than 100 characters. This is actually the international standard. You should avoid a few things like technical terms in the title, or use of abbreviations like AIDS, HIV, WHO, or medicine's name, or anything abbreviation or any formula in the title. Neither very short, neither very long, neither making it humorous or amusing or attractive, sensational. Do not use waste words which are useless. So you should keep this thing in mind. Next, we come to the authorship. So the authorship criteria is again very important, that who should be the author, who can be the author as per the international standards. So whenever you are following or you are writing an article, we have a very good, we talked about equatornetwork.org, which contains all the guidelines of different journals, maximum journals all over the world. But usually when a homeopath is searching, or which IJRH follows, which homeopathic heritage follows, or many of the other peer-reviewed journals follow, is the International Committee of Medical Journal Editors. That is ICMJE. So as per its criteria, we have 4 points that you should remember while you are mentioning the authorship or the author of the article. So substantial contributions to the conception or design of the work, or the acquisition or analysis or interpretation of the data of the work. Whenever you are giving any authorship, the person should have contributed to the work. He should have contributed to drafting the work or revising the work through his content, and the final approval of the version should be helped or approved by him, or there should be an agreement for to be accountable. Whoever is accountable in ensuring that questions related to the accuracy or the integrity of the work are actually appropriately investigated, which can be decided only by the author. So researcher, the author, should fulfill all these points, and he should be very fixed, and he should be accurate enough about all these points that he should know all these things. You should always deal carefully that the researcher or his supervisor or co-supervisor, the scientist or the scientific faculty, senior faculty, whoever has assisted the scholar, should be mentioned as authors. The ghost authors can be usually people hide it to hide the financial relationships if they have got support from any private company. Or honorary authors, like you need to we honor somebody who have given us, guided us, some person's name, or somebody you want to mention extra. Whenever the article is being authored by more than one author, then everybody there should be a description about each of the author, and then there should be mention of always a corresponding author. This is mentioned, a corresponding author who will be actually responsible for any communication from the editorial team, who will be reverting, who has thorough knowledge about each and every aspect of the research paper or the study. So you should remember all these points while title and authorship. So I hope we have cleared 2 points. Next we come to the abstract part, that is the mini version of the entire article. And first and foremost thing I want to tell everybody is, it should contain everything required by the potential readers, so that reader actually get interest to read about it and read about the article, read the article more. So you should remember this, and plus you should write it in your own words. The abstract should have no citations, and it should be limited to 250 words or 150 words, 150 to 250 words, and it should not contain any references nor any abbreviations. I get so many articles where in abstracts people use references or they use abbreviations. So you should keep in mind this thing, that you need not use references or abbreviations. The abstract should actually state the purpose of your study, how it was carried out, what are you going to talk about in the article, research paper, or what are your key findings, the conclusions. We discussed the IMRAD, introduction, methodology, and results, and a discussion, conclusion. So a structured abstract should be written like this, with the following headings like this: background or introduction, methods, results, discussion, and conclusion. If you're writing any unstructured abstract, like in many case studies or research or subjective articles, you can write it continuously without any subheadings and just explain what is actually you are going to talk about in the article. Next, we come to the keywords. So keywords, everybody know, and it is the important part of a research paper, that there should be some 3 to 10 keywords or some short phrases that index your research paper, actually, that actually explains what is the important part, or what is the important result, or what is the importance in your research paper, what is important in your research paper. The keyword should provide information about your research topic, like tonsillitis, or the search terms like belladonna. Many people use homeopathic medicine, or such things, which can be homeopathic medicine can be used, like if their topic is utility of homeopathy in heart disorders or cardiovascular disorders, so they may choose the keyword like cardiovascular disorder, they may choose the keyword like homeopathy. So these two keywords can be used. So that should include, the keyword should include those which are very specific and essential about the article, because actually whenever the people are doing SEO, search engine optimization, or search engines are searching for this, like I'm a researcher, and I'm doing some research, and I'm just I'm going to Google it, what is actually the done in the past. Like we use we to prepare the review of literature, everybody must be using about everybody use Google to make review of literature. So if I am a researcher and I want to review the literature, so what I do is I'll be going to Google and I'll just search for belladonna and tonsillitis, or crataegus and heart diseases. So whenever these keywords come in your search, so people get to know about your article more easily and more aptly and more increased in an increased way. I would say your article will be searched more, your article will be viewed more. So you should remember that the keywords should be very specific and essential about the article. The most important keywords can be, you can take it from the title, or we have already used the keyword in the title, we can use it in our keyword section. The keyword should be 3 to 10, or they may be 5 to 10, which actually contain the essence of the research paper, the topic, the conceptual approach, the methodology, the application. Whatever you want to mention, you can mention in the keyword, 5 to 10 keywords. When you come to the introduction, there may be, you may have missed like many of the journals, like our journal as well, ask for a section that is abbreviations. So whatever abbreviations are used in the article, you can mention it after keywords or at the end of the article, because it would help people to read it thoroughly, and you need not have to write again and again about it, about the about those about this abbreviated words. You can just mention the short form there at the same time, and just mention the abbreviations before. Then we come to the introduction. So introduction, when you talk about, it is actually important, and a reader would get more interest if the introduction is good. So according to a great personality, Swales, he said there are 3 phases on which an introduction goes. You should establish a territory, that is the field, what you are talking about, or what is actually already done in the field. Like if I'm doing it for tonsillitis, So tonsillitis is actually the inflammation of tonsils, or we have tonsils in this. So 1 to 2 lines about actually what is the topic about, or a paragraph, or 2 lines about this, whatever topic it is. Then you have to establish a niche, that is a void or the gap. Actually, what is missing, a missing link, like why I have done this research, like which will reach to this which will these reach to this why. So you should indicate the gap in the field, that though it like belladonna is very useful, but it is not being approved, it is not being uh, though belladonna and tonsillitis is a very common topic, we can choose any other topic, like latrodectus in latrodectus in heart disorders. So yeah, or lacnanthus in cervical disorders. So though lacnanthus is very useful in cervical pain and etc., but there is very limited research which is being done on this topic. And then you state actually the purpose of your work. So that's why I have taken this topic, and I'll be explaining the research paper on this topic. So introduction is a funnel shape which you need to follow from the broad to the general to the narrow to the very specific. Broad to the narrow to specific. So you should remember this when you're writing a introduction, and it is very important because it actually explains the scope of the problem. It actually give you a brief review of the literature with the gap or deficiencies that is going on, and then give the objective of the research, actually what your research is about, what are you going to study, or what is the study about. Whenever you're writing an introduction, you may miss something, like you may mention any unwanted information, so just try to ignore those things, or exaggerating the significance of the study. You need not exaggerate the study, just keep it short and crisp, just to address to the reader. Next, we come to the very important and the body, you can say, or the actual essence which will give explain your research paper is the material and methods, the methodology. A great person, A.N. Whitehead, has rightly said the greatest invention of the 19th century was the invention of the method of invention. So, as you all know, that you should know the method actually. Invention means discovery, but actually, the invention of the method of invention was a greatest invention. So you should actually, the methodology is you should know, but you have done a research, you have got a result, but actually the methodology of that invention is the most important thing. So it should be clean and clear. The study should be very clean. The research should ensure that it is the right sampling method, the very right technique you are writing or mentioning in the research paper. You have recruited the right number of samples. You have recruited the proper outcome. You have used the proper statistical tools for data analysis, and you are very, very, very free from any bias. You should be you should have no partialities, no bias system. So it should be crystal clear manner. It should explain. It should be written in a very crystal clear manner, so that the people also get interested to replicate the study. Like if I've published the research, and my friend wants to replicate it or just reprove it again, so he can easily do it. So methodology should contain the study site, the duration. You should mention the study site or the duration. You should mention the study design. What is actually the design of your study, whatever you are doing, like experimental study or observational study you are doing. You should know better about the sample collection. How many samples you are using. It is a random sampling, or you are randomized or non-randomized sampling, and the instruments, the equipments, the scales, anything you are using, any intervention you are giving, any diet or any suggestion, any counseling you are doing, and the outcome or assessment method. it should mention the methodology, should mention what is your outcome assessment method, the data collection tools, how you'll be collecting the data, how you'll be compiling, you will be doing the method, what will be the methods of compilation, how you're going to analyze the data statistically through SPSS software or through Excel or something, whatever analysis you're going to do about the study procedure. So you should mention all these things, plus avoid some vague statement like about the statistical methods, where like every researcher, and I think me also have used it in internship maybe, that in the statistical methods or data collection or data analysis methods, we mention appropriate statistical methods was used. So you should try to ignore writing this fake term. You should actually ensure that what software you have used, what statistical method you have used, what test you have used, whether it was t-test, t-test or chi-square test or ANOVA test or whatever. What was actually the statistical method used by you, or the scale you have used. You should actually ensure that the ethical issues involved with the study should be properly addressed, and all these things should be mentioned in the materials and methods. That is the methodology, a very important part of this research paper. Next, we come to the results. So results, when you talk about the results section, it actually is the essence of your research paper. It actually proves what you have done. So it should it should compose of some words, some text, which or tables or statistics or illustrations or graphs or something which may supplement your statement, which may supplement your evidence, which may summarize your evidence, which may highlight your main findings. So you should remember the fool collect facts and the wise man selects them. This quote you should remember as said by J.W. Powell, sir. He said that the fool person collects facts, whatever fact you're getting from here and there. A wise man only select them. So you should be very crisp and you should summarize the evidence in the form of tables, statistics, illustrations, so that it is very impressive, as well as a person can select them. So you should present things that they are very selective as well. You should keep in mind that you need not repeat the same data again and again. Like a table you have given for analysis of age, like which age group was better, which age group was given, which age group was actually given result. You should not explain, like you have given a table, you need not repeat in figure. You can repeat the next illustration, like if you talk about the marital status of the population, so you can give it by illustration, any figure or any graph or any pie chart, whatever you want, but do not repeat the same data. And text should only focus the findings recorded in the tables, and they should not again be a repetition. You should present the finding actually exactly as you have stated it in the methodology section. So whatever you have stated in the method section, that how you're going to analyze, how you're going to evaluate, how you're going to mention, so you should actually present exactly in the same order. If you've done it from Excel through pie charts, etc., you need to present. If you have done it manually or through online apps, the statistical analysis you can mention. You need to mention in the methodology, as well as put the same way in the results. Or if you've done it through SPSS software, you can mention there, and you can put that SPSS table here. And the results should always be written in the past tense. The article should be written in the past tense, not always, as the introduction may have variations, like when you are explaining the definition of anything. But the article you should try to write in the past tense, because you've already done the research and you're writing a research paper. So remember all this. I get so many articles which are written in haphazard tenses, I would say. Somewhere there people are going for past, somewhere people are going for present, and I've I've read so many manuscripts of those of people of their thesis. Those people have mentioned here and there, like some tense going on there, some tense going on there, past, and then coming to present, and then coming to future. So you should mention, you should focus that your English, when you're writing an article, that tenses should be properly used. The descriptive statistics as well as the test of significance like t-test or chi-square test, whatever you've used, then hypothesis testing, whether the nulla or hypothesis was accepted or not, or it was an alternate hypothesis, or the intervals, the inferential statistics, and the statistical significance should be represented by the p-value. You should give the p-value. If you're giving a t-test or whatever test you're following, the p-value you should mention, so that people can easily grasp and they can replicate the same experiment. Next, we come to the discussion section. I hope nobody is getting bored and enjoying this session. If you have queries, we'll be discussing them in the end. We are coming towards the discussion and the conclusion part, and then the acknowledgements, etc. So discussion section should actually be written in a reverse order of the introduction. Very easily I can explain this. The author should answer whatever you have asked in the introduction. Like there was a gap, whatever whatever you were planning to do the research, whatever was your aim, whatever was your hypothesis, it comes into the discussion section. Compare your findings with those of the other similar studies, like what the results were there, what the previously published work was there, which you may have mentioned in the review of literature. You can compare with your present work, and you should not discuss any ideas, concepts, or any information which you have not mentioned above in the paper. Not any unexpected result you should mention. You should admit the limitations also, like maybe while conducting the study you have a small sample size, you have a short follow-up time, or you violated any study protocol, any participant violated, or there was any apprehension or some weakness, which you can admit it here in the discussion section, the limitation. On the contrary, you can admit like the readers, the editorial team, that they'll be appreciating actually your honesty, that you may this is the limitation and you have explained it, so that people get influenced by your conclusion. In some journals, a discussion and conclusion is accepted as one heading also. But then whenever you are giving a heading discussion and conclusion, you should separately give a subheading discussion and then a subheading conclusion. The next part is the conclusion, that is the last section of a research paper, which should highlight the important points, the results, the suggestions for future research. It should which is a compilation of results as well as the discussion section. It should be very brief, very to the point, convey your message to the reader, and should be very much linked to the objective of your study, whatever objective you have set in the beginning of your study. No vague statements, no unsupported data, no vague data. It should always exclude things like which are like already mentioned in the text, like you have mentioned in the results, you have mentioned in the discussion. You need not mention again in the conclusion. It should be a very key message given in the end, explaining the indications of the practical application, or if there is like any future data can be compiled. Or even if you get a negative result, you should not hide the truth, you should not manipulate the data. You should give it as original as a justified thing. Actually, after reading the paper, people should understand how and why the research matters. So conclusion should include this, why your research matters. So introduction is the first impression and conclusion is the lasting impression to the reader. So you should mention both these things very, very, very nicely. A very well written conclusion will have a great impact on the presentation of the paper, and it should mention whether your findings support your hypothesis or disapprove it. Plus, you can give recommendations for further research, like you may mention that proposals or research can be done, evidence based researches can be done with more sample size, longer study duration, different methodology, so that people can explore the new aspects in the field, plus the research goes on. Conclusion actually restate your goal and outcome and give the ultimate meaning of the analysis and or argument to the reader. If he is having any argument regarding your research paper or how you need to analyze, conclusion actually fulfill that purpose. Remind readers about the strength and impact of your research paper. It makes a connection between the present study and the related studies all around, which he can search for more. It set up a framework for future work and give better understanding to the reader. You should not provide any new information in this section. You should avoid repeating the information already discussed. You should not manipulate the data, even if the results are negative. Do not rewrite the abstract. Do not be apologetic for poor presentation. Do not put any apology there. Do not quote. Do not use any statistics in the conclusion section. I hope everybody is clear on the most important part of the research paper, all the important points we discussed, and we are coming to the end of our presentation through our acknowledgements. We have references section and acknowledgement section still left to learn. So we have acknowledgement first, and you should always remember no one who achieves success does so without acknowledging the help of others. You should, being a wise person, being a confident person, you should acknowledge the help with the gratitude to the other person. Always, always you should remember. The reviewers of the research protocol, the funding agency, the experts, the scientists, the head of the department, the laboratory, the library staff, the source of your equipment, the cultures of your study, the person who helped in your survey, data collection, study participants, biostatisticians, and revision, proofreading, submission to the journal, preparation of manuscript. Each and every person, each and every faculty member or your colleague, whoever have helped you out, you should acknowledge them. Because acknowledgement and celebration are essential to fueling passion, making people feel valid and valuable, and giving the team a real sense of progress that makes it worthwhile. So it fuels passion, it makes you valuable, and actually the person feels a real sense of progress whenever you acknowledge somebody. For 5-6 points, which Finkelstein has categorized in acknowledgements as more, it gives you moral support, financial support, whoever have given you editorial support, presentational support, instrumental or technical support, and conceptual support. So you should always acknowledge individuals, organizations, whoever have helped you out, because if you honor acknowledge people, they'll honor and acknowledge you. This is the rule of life, and being in 21st century, being in Kali Yuga, you can say, so people will do what you do to them. So this is the rule of life actually, as we are living in this century. So if you honor people, if you acknowledge people, then only they'll honor you, they'll acknowledge you. It actually recognizes your existence and create your social awareness. Your gesture shows courtesy and boosts the self-esteem of other person. You should thank. You're not allowed to thank all the reviewers personally, but you can not allowed to thank all the reviewers personally, or those who inspired you, or your family members, the person who have actually helped in your study, or though you need to mention them, you need to acknowledge them. You need not acknowledge the people that have the contributions that are not specifically related to the research study. So you cannot, you like laboratory manager or somebody, you can need not additionally you cannot add any anonymous editor or acknowledge them. You should always acknowledge with the title Mr., Mrs., Miss, Doctor, Professor, whatever it is. Not use any pronoun his, her, etc. You should be in your active voice. The acknowledgement should be in your active voice, in active passive voice that we study in our English grammar. No abbreviations. The corresponding author should obtain written permission from all the acknowledged individuals. You should have written consent from them, like you get informed consent from from those people we are taking a sample size. And it may vary from journal to journal. Whenever you're writing an acknowledgement, just go through the journal guidelines first. The clinical investigators, the participating investigators, you should actually specify each and every person's name separately with the heading. Last and the least, we come to the references, which is an important section, and many of these students, many of the people who are writing for articles for the very first time, they find it very difficult to mention the references in the styles accepted, that is Vancouver or Harvard styles. So reference is a very important part, and it can be considered from two aspects, like in-text citation. Whatever the source material you have referred, you need to cite them in the text of the papers, and then you need to mention those list of references at the end of the paper. So it is an asset of elements which is describing a document to enable the potential reader to identify and locate it easily. Like if he need to know about this sentence wherever you have taken from, he can go to that link and read it back again. There are two methods, Vancouver and Harvard styles, which are usually followed in biomedical fields, though there are so many referencing styles which are acceptable internationally. But two are major, so we are going to discuss those two. Which one was by ICMGA, that is Vancouver style, that is being followed by us at Homeopathic Heritage. IGRH also follows the same. Second, we have Harvard method, which was being introduced by American Psychology Association. So Vancouver style is like they are numbered chronologically. You need to mention the author. You need to mention the author name. Author name, that too. The last name should come first, and the first name should be only given as an alphabet, like Yashika Arora. So you should write it Arora Y. So, and then the title of the book or the topic or whatever book name you have given, then the publisher name, the year's name, the page numbers, the date of the year of the publication of the book. So you need to mention all this in Vancouver style. In the Harvard method, citations are given in the text of the article. Like as it is, they are given in the text of the article. The surname of the author is given, the year of publication is given in the bracket. That's it. The reference section and the particulars of the referred literature are given through alphabetical arrangement of the surnames. Like it is somewhat different, and then they are alphabetically arranged. And Vancouver is, you need to cite them in the whole article, and the end of the paper you need to mention in the chronological order, that is from beginning to start. First paragraph, first reference should come in the first number. Second paragraph, second reference, it should be in the sequential order. If you are using any reference one number again in fourth or fifth paragraph, you need to keep it as one number only, because person will go to the one number again and just search that book again. So number of references should be reasonable, neither too many nor few, nor 2, 3, nor 20, 25 or say 30 plus. Manuscripts containing innumerable references are more likely a sign of insecurity than a mark of scholarship. So you should remember while writing the references, 30, 35, 40 references, they'll create an insecurity. You have referred so many references there. So you need not mention so many references. You should ensure that all the references in the reference section should be cited somewhere in the text. 10 references, 10 numbers should be there in the whole article cited. There are conventions for the like for various journals. Like you need to include the contribution of the book. So as per the journals, you should mention the citations. Uh, you should for information from manuscript submitted but not accepted, you should cite them as unpublished observation with written permission from the source. So you should, if some of the articles are not published, so you should write it forthcoming or unpublished with written permission you should take. I hope everybody is clear with it as well. Not all who look at a journal are going to read even one article in it. Writers must know, therefore, what turns a looker into a reader. So, everybody who is looking at the journal, everybody is opening a journal, they won't read it until that create something spark inside. So, being a writer, you should know that what you need to do to make a person from a looker to a reader. Being a researcher, you should possess these qualities. Like you need to put a lot of efforts, you need to have patience, you need to have perseverance, you need to have the ability to get through cumbersome process with self confidence, which is actually a which are very required qualities of a homeopath as well, as mentioned by Master Hahnemann in 98 aphorism. I hope everybody have must have read it, that you need a lot of patience, you should have a tact of circumspection, you should have patience in an eminent degree, so you should be tactful. So these are a few of the qualities of a homeopath or homeopathic physician, whoever is practicing, and similar qualities you need being a researcher as well. You should have a lot of patience, you should have a reciprocal attitude, a relationship between the researcher and the reader, that the person who is reading may reach to you. You should have that ability to examine, to relate, to interlink the evidences from various researches, and to provide a peer reviewed product to the people. That would be a rewarding experience for you. So I would recommend everybody, each one of you can do it, anyone can do it. So become a researcher, become author, become an inspiration for others, motivate others to navigate in the right direction. Last, I would like to mention a person's name whom actually I have learned a lot from. Nobody else has taught me so much or scolded me so much or actually the scolding actually makes you improvement, and all the credit goes, maximum of the credit, I won't name anybody else, not my parents, not anybody else. I would specially mention the person who has actually taught me, or who has actually made me, or from whom I can say ki, from whom whose article or whose publications I actually learn all these things, and I have taken many of the points from his articles, published articles as well in this presentation. So I would like to mention a special mention for Dr. Chaturbhuja Nayak sir. Many of people, everybody of you must be knowing him. He was the former Director General of CCRH. So he actually is a gem and a great teacher, a great person, a great researcher, a great a person who have published so many articles, whose articles are so many articles are published. So I would like to mention a special thanks to him. And thank you so much, Pyro University, all the staff and faculty, and Dr. Neerav, Dr. Hina, Dr. Hitar, Dr. Purav, Dr. Panda, and every technical person who have chosen me to give this presentation. I hope I made my part clear and could give you something better to this through this presentation, and you got to learn something. You can ask for any queries at at my email or WhatsApp me. So I hope I'm done with this. I think we have Sir Dr. Hitat.
Hello.
Yeah.
So now I would like to request my colleague Dr. Hitat Mehta sir to give his concluding remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Panda sir. Regarding the topics of the techniques to write research article, Dr. Yashika madam has started with it is very important for the UG, PG and PhD scholar to write the research paper, quality research paper. And we should ready with the criticism as well as confident enough to write the quality research paper. And the main objective of the research paper, that is documenting, containing the valuable information to the readers and sense of satisfaction. And for institution perspective, for the university perspective, it is very important for each and every student, and for the growth of the institution, it is very important to do the research activity. And the policy should be maintained in the community level as well. And the research paper, that is containing of the introduction, method, result, and discussion, and the structure of the article, which includes the title, then authorship, then abstract, keywords, introduction, material and methods, result, discussion, conclusion, acknowledgement, and references. The title means it should be like a signboard, study design and result oriented, text in miniature, and abbreviation must be avoided by the authors. And authorship criteria as per the integration committee and of medical editors, that is ICSJE, that is authenticated, and authors should be involved with the supervisor, co-supervisor, the scientists, senior faculty, along with the researchers. Then the abstracts, the mini version for entire article, that is the structure, abstract, unstructured and abstract, the two qualities, that is structure abstract and unstructured abstract. Then keywords. So we have to short phrases used for indexing one research paper, and essence of the research paper, example, that is concept and approach and methodology and application should be justifiable. And the introduction, which establishes the territory and the state of the intent and purpose of the own work. Material and method, that is study, site, it includes the study site duration, sample collection, whether it is randomized or non-randomized, intervention, then the outcome and assessment method. Last, that is result, that is the summarized evidence, and the results should be written in past, and the results should be written in past tense, and descriptive steps and taste of the significance. The discussion, that the section should be written in reverse order. So we have to start the introduction first, and we have to justify the introduction in discussion portion. So conclusion should be linked with objective of the study and should be derived from the result and the discussion. So overall conclusion, that is restate of the goal and the outcome which benefits for the reader itself. Last is acknowledgement. You should acknowledge the funding agency, health department, for institution perspective, teaching and non-teaching staff, which is very important. So references in text citation, that is Vancouver, that is at the end of the list of enlisted the references. So overall, it is the responsibility of the each and every students for the usage of the library, that is very essential for the institutional perspective. So more and more students are use the library, and student should be insisted for the write something. So it is the responsibility of the each and every faculty of the institution of the university. So I'm thank you very much, madam, for your wonderful session, and sir share the information regarding the research perspective. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much, sir, for compiling my presentation so beautifully.
Now I invite Dr. B.P. Panda, sir, Principal of Parul Institute of Homeopathy and Research, to proceed with the vote of thanks. Over to B.P. Panda, sir.
Thank you, Mehta sir. Really, we are very happy, and it is my pleasure, and I feel proud to give vote of thanks to our dynamic, energetic, young speaker of today's, Dr. Yashika Arora. I am very much thankful to the management of Parul University for giving this opportunity and platform to conduct such type of webinar series since a long time, from the time of lockdown to up to the date. We are very much thankful all the listeners, those who are patiently listening and making this program success. All digital members Brijesh bhai, because of him, this type of webinar is going to be success. Really, madam, we are overwhelmed, and the knowledge you have gained and shared with all our faculty members. We are happy that within a short span of experience you have gained a lot, and really the research, it is a burning problem for the neophytes, and you have put all the inputs how to start and how your research paper will be one of the best. So on behalf of our faculty, we, Dean Dr. Purab Desai, myself Dr. B.P. Panda, Siddharth Mehta, my senior colleague Dr. Hina Madam, all are with you. Our blessings, our best wishes with you. Go ahead, all the best. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you so much, sir.
Dr. Mehta, let us conclude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Namaskar, Yashika Madam.
Thank
We
you, madam.
hope the
Thank you,
same
madam.
cooperation in future.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Yashika. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We shall leave, sir.
Sir, shall we leave?